Welcome to another UFC 4 video, and today we're going to be giving you a lot of information, so I'm just asking for 350 likes and I'll start work on the next video. Let's get right into the gameplay trailer, all right? So let's rewind that back. Okay, the first thing that I see, Brad Tavares right there, he throws a jab out of range whenever Israel Adesanya is doing that spin kick, so watch out for that. We got a shot of Wiley and Jessica Andrade. We see a lot of new character models in this trailer. We've seen this before. This is Shevchenko and Jessica I right there with a huge head kick. And this is our first look at Yan and Jimmy. I think they showed this on UFC pay-per-view 251. Other than that, this is our first look at it here on YouTube. Max with a nice combination. Shevchenko with those powerful spin kicks. This is a better look here at Derek Lewis getting slammed by DC. And we're going to be getting into a lot of great information in this video, and I want you guys to get in those comments and let me know what you think, add to the conversation. New look Triple C, ground and pounding TJ Dillashaw, but let's start getting into the meat of this. This looks like a ground and pound, but when you're in this position, you shouldn't be taking all this damage, because for some fighters, you can have a submission transition anytime they throw those left strikes on UFC 3. And also, UFC 4 introduces dodging versus framing. That's what I want to talk about. You can counter straights, use the right stick to move your head, but you don't want to move your head into the hook. So you can counter hooks if you hold a left bumper and move the right stick to the side of the strike to frame or put your arm out to block. So that's going to be new. You need to understand when your opponent is throwing a straight, when your opponent is throwing a hook, like right there, and you want to hold LB into the right. So you shouldn't be taking this damage, because you're going to have all type of options to maybe transmission, submit, frame, or move your head. So it's a lot going on there that shouldn't. And these are just some powerful shots there. I like that haircut there on Blade. And that's a new look Aldo that we see. And seeing the new shock waves when you connect to your opponent. Man, so they're introducing these high impact moments. Now, you can turn this stuff off. Let me know if that's what you're going to do. Now, here's a new look John Jones versus the UFC 3 John Jones there on the right. They gave him a little haircut. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about that update. So let's get into some of the meat of the video here. Look at those nice combinations there. Now, as you can see, we got 13 minutes on the clock. I'm not sure exactly what that is. That's Santos and the new Walker. Maybe that's a new mode, but one thing I noticed is spin moves only. Maybe it's a blitz mode or something, so we don't know what we're looking at. This could be a new mode, because they're adding all type of new modes online, so this looks like something that people can have fun with. New look Izzy, man. Now this is what we've been waiting on right here. I touched on it in the last video, but I really think this character model looks really good against Anderson Silva, and I can't wait to get in there and feel like Israel Adesanya. And look at this right here, man. Just a shot of Usman. And this is in the clinch, man. People saying it's boring, but this is where these fights are won and lost, right here in the clinch, where you really can make a fight be dirty and just really ground out your opponent. So let's talk about this clinch. When you initiate that clinch, your opponent is going to want to move backwards to escape, like you see there, but you want to be moving forward to stay in that clinch. So this clinch forward movement won me a lot of fights. When you initiate the clinch, forward movement will allow you to execute a powerful exiting strike when your opponent breaks the clinch. And you'll see it right here, this left hand, boom. And that's where I was winning a lot of fights, because on that exit, I was getting this really powerful strike. Now, when you find yourself against the cage, there's a nuance to exit the cage. Move to the open side when you have stamina advantage. Stamina advantage is gained by blocking strikes. And this is where I was able to exit, when I would block some strikes, and then you move to that open side and exit. So that's one thing that I want people to know, because you're just not going to be able to exit immediately. And there's going to be some more nuances to that cage position. Now, this is the big one right here, these scrambles. This brings about an entirely new meta tree on the takedown. So right here, you have Usman going for the double leg, okay? And so he has the option to go forward, left, or right to drive him left or right. So this is like a driving takedown. Now he's going to the right, and what you see here is Masvidal, he's also defending. You don't, just because you see him going down, don't think like the scramble is over. So he's defending and moving his stick probably to the left to match that motion. And then what you see here is a takedown defense. And I've seen one or two of these animations, and it's just like surprising every time you see it. So that's going to be some new meta that I can't wait to play, because whenever somebody takes you down, you're going to have to know which direction they're going. Now, this was really fun, and I don't think a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on this. When you pick somebody up here, you have about 5 seconds that you can walk around with them and literally slam them down on the other side of the cage. Like, you got some time to do that. So that was real fun, man. It's just give you some time, you know, to kind of showboat a little bit and have a good time. Now, that's some look at some other ways that you can have some takedown defense. So it's a lot of balance that you're seeing here. A lot of ways you can take people down, that whole new meta tree on the takedown, but then you also have a lot of new ways that you can defend, like this sprawl position. Now, once you get into that sprawl position on the beta, man, this was very tough to escape. So you got to be careful. You really need to understand your transition fakes and how to get out of that. But it was tough just to get up. Now, that's a shot there at Kevin Lee, a new look Kevin Lee, getting caught in that standing guillotine off of those takedowns. So you got to be conscious of that. Now, new side control meta. From side control, the top fighter now has a third option to transition up to the knee on belly position. Bottom fighter can no longer just rock back and forth to stay safe from those strikes, because now I had those options to raise up to that knee on belly. So you can't just sit there and rock back and forth and do the transition strike and be safe from those strikes, man. So you got some more meta there, but if they do rise up, then you know you still can sway your head, which brings me to this point right here. You see how he's moving his head? Sometimes with Usman, man, I would reverse people on the very first strike that they threw, just off of like moving my head. So you can't stay in that rhythm, and that's what I'm talking about. Point number 7, reversals from the top strike, reversals from the first strike the opponent threw. Make sure not to get in a rhythm with your strikes with low stamina, and we're going to figure out the meta of when you actually get these reversals. But you can't just be throwing strikes, because if your opponent knows how to defend, then you're going to get reversed. So I'm telling you, it's a very fun game that they have in place, because it's just a lot of cat and mouse and meta stuff. Is pretty deep. And here, if you're not that advanced, then they also have new controls where you can simplify the controls. But for everyone else, you got the legacy controls, man. So all that stuff from UFC 3 is back. Now, I think that there's a skill gap on this backpacking, because I can't just get into the clinch, get 1 or 2 transition blocks, and then take your back into a 1 or 2 gate submission. You're going to have to be slick now, okay? And you're going to have to figure out really how to take your opponent's back. And from what I've seen, the finish the fight submission was removed. From all indications, I didn't see it. So that's when you knock someone down and you get on top of them to finish the fight, but then you got that option for the submission that's like a 1 gate or something like that. I didn't see that. Okay, so that's been removed from all indications. And don't think, man, for a second, they show a lot of Ben Askren getting beat up, but I think he's going to be a pretty good fighter to use. So now finally we here, man. Let's talk about this new submission game. Now, let me see if I can explain this. Now, what you're going to see is the blue player's bar, all right, and you have the escape progress based upon how much you stay away from the red bar, your escape progress will fill up. Just as simple as that. So but you want to move it smoothly, because if you just go erratically, go from left to right, that bar is going to get bigger. Now that's the red player's bar in their submit progress. All right. And the more that they stay on top of your bar, that submit progress is going to fill up. The first one to the end is you're either going to get a submission or an escape. And now that purple is the overlap bar. So the more purple, the more that submit bar is going to fill up. The less purple, that escape bar is going to fill up. So that's the game that you playing, and it's just as simple as that, because you play the same game for the joint submissions there on the right. And you also have quick time events that allow you to immediately escape. Like you'll have a quick time event to say slam, or another one to transition, probably based upon your performance during that mini game. Now what you're looking at here is Mackenzie Dern successfully executing a bulldog counter to a low single. So no longer is it the same meta where you can just wait for your opponent to back up and then you go for that low single, which was one of the very hardest takedowns to deny. Now, if you get countered into this bulldog choke, then you are in a bad situation, even if you get out of the submission. So there's a lot of new stuff here, a lot of new meta to unpack. And remember, as the game goes forward, we'll be getting a lot of updates to whatever we find, but this right here is a pretty nice start. It's going to be pretty fun. I had a tremendous time in the beta, and here's a new look at Alexander and Darren the Damage Elkins. So that's pretty much my breakdown of the trailer. And one more, the 10th one, this is what I seen from Forbes magazine. They're saying if you had that EA access, you're going to be able to get this game on the 7th. So that's coming up pretty quick. So man, thank you guys for watching the video. And I'm just asking for 350 likes before I start working on the next video. Again, my Discord is IMUHBOXER Gaming. 2 people have already won free copies of UFC 4. Please look me up on my social media. Follow me on Twitter. I really want to thank you guys for all of the support and all the love that you guys showing. Can't wait to see you guys in the octagon on UFC 4. To the next video. Peace.